RSA101. So mostly in cryptography you find a lot of RSA questions, okay? So even in this tool, no wonder you are going to see a lot of RSA algorithms when you click on RSA like this. So this is not almost everything because we are still adding them, but in the command line everything is there. So let's try to understand this challenge. We have N, we have E and C. Now E looks smaller, okay? So we need to critically think here. So let's try out this one first. So you can try out this factorization method assuming that you don't know what you are doing, okay? So you can try to copy the N, you paste the N there, then E is 5, so I'll just say 5, then you copy this cipher text, you paste it here. Though I know what I'm doing, this is not the right way to go because this method is called fact and decrypt, and it's usually recommended if you are dealing with factorization methods where N can be factorized. So the first step with fact and decrypt is that you need to go, it says factor db, and you need to try to, let me copy this, you need to try to find out the factors for N. So you can see the factors of N is just a single factor, which is not normal, okay? Meaning something is up with this challenge. So you cannot use fact and decrypt method, you just waste your time, okay? You can see could not factorize N, meaning something is up. So you try out another one, which is Fermint. So you can see we are talking about factorization, but we don't want to factorize only, but we also want to see the flag. So I would say fact and decrypt. So the value for N, I'll paste it there. Then E is 5, okay? Then C, I'll copy C. Now there's just a reason why I'm going to each one and every thing so that you can see how each and every option works, but if you want you can go directly if you understand the challenge, because sometimes in CTF you find some situations which you've never encountered, so you can see it has failed. So again the reason would be why. So let's try out Copper Smith's attack. Find small roots whatsoever material saying okay. Now there are some attacks which are known. For example, in this case E is small, so try to look for a description which saying low exponent. For example, this one E is smaller, so let's try with the low exponent first. So in this case we need to try out this one with the low exponent. We paste our N, our E is 5, then we get our C. So if you are thinking in such a manner, for example, just do a research to say, okay, I have these values and these values, which attack for RSA can work, that way we won't waste time. So I was just showing you that so that you understand, okay? So sokonalysis is strong like copper. Oh, by the way, I see there was a hint which was given, so I've done this more like manually, which is not a good thing, but there is a hint which I had given. So there's this hint, okay, which was given, which is more like a cipher. So if we go on cipher identifier here, so in fact this was interesting, okay? So if you go on cipher identifier, you need to identify what is this cipher. So this is more like, okay, we have a lot of things which are here, but let me try out what cipher. Or in sokonalysis here, since we see that even notation cipher is part of them, so you can just try to brute force that thing. Then here I'll just do this. Oh, let me copy this. Where is the thing? Okay, let me try to brute force. Okay, so which attack in RSA is similar to Copper Belt province in Zambia? Okay, so which attack in RSA is similar to Copper Belt in the province of Zambia? So Copper Belt. So if you go in RSA, you will realize that we have an attack which is called Copper Smith. Okay, so going in RSA, we need to go in Coppersmith now. Okay, so this attack is the one which can decrypt, but I'm sure I'd tried out this one, didn't I? Try it. Let me go back on the description. Let's take our N. They've already solved the flag. So this was 5. Let's see our N or our C, our ciphertext, which is this. Then we just run attack. So failed. Okay, so it has failed. Maybe it was a trick, but I know it's not a trick. You just need to think. Okay, so sometimes they can just give you some things which are meant to waste your time. Then you'll be like, oh, there is a hint, but you're just wasting your time.